Are you here? Of course you're here. Now, right now, but where are you? Where are you tuning in from? You're listening to the Paul Leslie Hour from where? GPS coordinates, town, state, country, continent, area code, zip code. Where are you listening from? We'd really like to know. Hey, today we've got an interview with a guy named Wes Loper from the archives. Now, this interview went out on radio way back in 2009. It's a pleasure to get it out to you now. Okay, growing up and residing on the South Alabama coast, that teeny little boot heel, Wes Loper progressed into stardom. Wes entertains professionally across the region and beyond. He's performed all along the Gulf Coast for years now and continues to mix rock and country and blues and folk to create his own style with a funky beachside feel and plenty of country. After enjoying the local success of his debut album, Take Me Home, Wes joined up with a team headed by Alan Schulman, along with Mac McAnally, featuring musicians from Nashville and Muscle Shoals. They recorded a breakthrough album of country and southern rock. Oh yes, the second album project, entitled Keep On Growin', is still available. But check out all of Wes Loper's tunes. And you should also go see him work or play. Wes Loper's renowned at legendary venues like Lulu's at Homeport and the Floribama. You can even see him at this year's Meeting of the Minds Festival. You know, folks, we've got dozens of interviews from the archives, just like this one, and we need to get them out to you, out into the world. You need to hear them. That's what we do. We help people tell stories. You can help support independent media and give to yourself and to others the gift of stories. Simply visit www.thepaulleslie.com/support. Yes. And give Paul a hot or cold beverage. Now, please, won't you join us for this interview recorded on the road with Wes Loper long ago? I think this one was recorded on the tour bus. Either way, we'd like to listen together on this show, so let's get this thing going.
We're welcoming Mr. Wes Loper on the program today. We'd like to, first of all, thank you for taking the time to do this, Wes.
Oh, man, anytime. Glad to be here.
So you come from Mobile?
Yeah, originally. And I spend a lot of time down on the coast whenever I could get away from Mobile, right down to the beach and the island and stuff.
Were you born in Mobile, or?
I was born in Mobile in 1974.
A lot of good things come out of Mobile.
Yeah.
So tell me, how did you start with music?
Well, when I was 6 years old, I came home and there was a piano in the living room, and I started just picking stuff out on the piano by ear, and I noticed that I could just, pick things out. Real simple. So I tried to pick out as many songs as I could, and I had a few lessons. I had a cousin that played and gave lessons, and took a few lessons from her, as much as a young man with ADD could pay attention, and then didn't really do much with it until after high school, when I went from the piano to the guitar, and that's when I really started budding out, because the guitar was so portable. I could take it down to the beach and practice my songs for whoever walked by, at night when people walk the beach, and I would take requests, and if I didn't know them, I would tell them to come back tomorrow. I would learn it. So.
Well, what did you grow up listening to? What was on your CD player or cassette player?
Oh man, everything from the Beach Boys to Chuck Berry, and I didn't get into Jimmy Buffett until later, till I started getting into high school or whatever. But all through high school, I learned when I was way young, going way back. My dad and mom would always have music playing around the house, and that was always like Charlie Daniels Band and Waylon Jennings and Willie Nelson a little bit, and Allman Brothers. We were big Allman Brothers, and of course Wet Willie was a favorite around the house, being from Mobile originally. So that was in high rotation.
And your newest album, if I remember correctly, it has Mac McAnally playing guitar on it. Is that true?
It is, and it does. We actually did one of his songs too, called "The Simple Life," and he not only played guitar on it and graced it with his harmonies, but he also did. He led the sessions, which made for a really fun experience, because he's a nice guy, and he knows how to orchestrate things pretty well. It's with the quiet guiding hand. So it was really cool to watch.
So how did you hook up with Mr. McAnally?
McAnally came along because of one of the producers on the album. Alan Schulman is from Sheffield, Alabama, which is right around the Muscle Shoals, Quad City area. And they've been friends for a long time, ever since the beginning of each of their careers. And Alan Schulman has been engineering Jimmy Buffett's stuff. So there's the connection between the McAnally, Alan Schulman thing. And Mac McAleer, he was the one who pointed us towards, when I said, hey, we need a producer, we looked at first to McAnally, but he was a little busy at the time, and Schulman came on and really took up the project as producer. And then he turned the sessions over to McAnally, so it's all one big team thing.
Out of all the places you play, and I was looking on your website, and you guys get around a lot. You guys are moving.
We're trying, we're trying to spread out. I spent so much of my early career, I guess what you would say, paying your dues, down on the coast and playing all the beach bars and restaurants. And, probably my first paying gig was playing for the folks that were waiting for a table at the Oyster House, the original Oyster House, which is where I bartended before I started playing music. And, I've from that started doing weddings and birthdays and graduation parties and whatever, but I could stay pretty busy. I stayed busy 7 days a week, right there in my hometown, by diversifying and playing as many events as I could. And it wasn't until, because my big thing was I never wanted to make it and go big without feeling like I really had my chops and my dues behind, those dues at least. I feel like I could hold my own. So that's what I did. And now we're taking basically all I've learned from doing that 7 days a week on the road and continuing to learn.
So given the fact that you guys are getting around so much, is there any place in particular that is a favorite place for you to play?
Yeah. Man, it's so weird because we play a lot of cool places, and right off the top of my head, it's not always the obvious ones. I mean, we're in Atlanta, Georgia tonight, and it's an awesome place to play up here. But one of the gigs that you do for little money that are sometimes the most fun, and there's a place in Meridian, Mississippi that we play for very little money. I won't say how much or how little, but we do it because the people there really come out and support us a lot. I mean, like, it's amazing their dedication and how much they ask for us to come back, and when we show up, they show up and they're ready to have a good time, and that refuels our jets, and our engines, and that's Meridian, Mississippi, and it's a place called the Shed House, and it's pretty fun. But any place that I'm playing is better than going to work for a day. So I make the best of all of them.
We did an interview recently with Mac McAleer and Lucy Buffett at their place Lulu's, and they said Wes is legendary around here.
Well, I guess as any legend, the legend's probably bigger than the man. So I don't know what part they're talking about, but I just do what I do. I wouldn't call myself a traditional musician. I don't fit all the regular musician stereotypes because I worked for a living, and for a long, long time doing many, many jobs. And I guess I come from a lower middle class. I wouldn't say poor because there's some poor people in the world that I couldn't even compare to. But lower middle class, we worked every day, and I saw my parents work every day, and that's how that's what made sense to me in the world. And so that's what I do, is I work every day. I don't party, drink, like people think musicians may do all the time. I can party and drink with the best of them when the time comes, but I never want to be that guy who's on stage in front of a bunch of people and the drunkest guy in the room, and not taking life seriously.
Yeah.
Because I take what I do seriously, because it's my bread and butter. So if I don't do what I do well, I don't eat, and I really like to eat. So, that's just me.
What is it that you hope people get out of your music?
Man, just a good time. Really. First and foremost, I want them to smile. And that smile can come from a deep realization of the truth, or something that's just funny. But I really, from a young age, I remember wanting to make people smile. I probably, I aspired to be a DJ, I think, at one time, and then, but I could have seen myself being just a clown too in the circus, or even a birthday party clown, just to make people smile. So I carry that over to my music. I try to make people have a good time.
What musician, if any, do you find yourself getting compared to a lot?
That's a tough one. Depends on which clothes I'm wearing sometimes. The one that was surprising to me, I guess, was a Jim Croce. I had a song on my first album that people listened to, and they said it sounds a lot like Jim Croce, and which is kind of weird because I listened to Jim Croce, but I never did. He's one of those guys that I never covered any of his material directly. I played in a duo with a guy who did some Jim Croce, and I sang the harmonies on it and played the songs, but never sang Jim Croce's part. And it's weird when I wrote that song. It's called "Meant to Be Together" on my first album. I really kind of I was trying not to sound like James Taylor, because that's a big influence. And I thought that was a James Taylor-ish song. So, I guess by not sounding like James Taylor, I ended up sounding like Jim Croce. So, I don't know.
When you're not on the road performing or writing songs, when you're not doing music-related stuff, what kind of stuff do you enjoy doing?
Well, I'm an adrenaline junkie, even though I can't pronounce it right now. I like going fast, and that doesn't always. It's a relative speed, I guess, because I love to sail, and as it's something when you're out there harnessing, the wind and squeezing every little ounce of speed you can get out of the wind that you have to work with. That's what I like to do, and I've just taken up kiteboarding or kite surfing, and still in the initial banging my knees, falling down stages of learning that. But I also fly. I don't know. I've always wanted to fly. I always wanted to be a naval aviator, but didn't take that course of study, as I didn't follow it as well. But I really enjoy the fact that I'm thankful that I've gotten the opportunity to get my pilot's license and fly, and that's pretty much between those three things. If I can get any of those in a week, I'm a happy guy. I'm back to center.
Given that this program goes out all over the world, given the powers of technology, my last question for you: what would you, Wes Loper, like to say to the world?
Everybody just chill. I mean, come on. This is a big world, and oh man, if we could all just chill and let other people be whatever they want to be, and it seems like if people would let other people be what they want to be, they would have time to be who they are. And there's plenty, and give each other space, and that, stop fighting.
Mm-hmm.
Stop killing people. Let people live, live good. If anything, I would say to the kids, find out what you'd like to do, and without bastardizing it, learn how to make money at it. You'll never, if you can make money doing what you love, you'll never work again.
Well, Mr. Loper, I appreciate you taking the time to speak with us.
Thanks, Paul. Appreciate you having me.
And before we go, tell all the listeners how they can find out more about you.
I guess the most informative place would be wesloper.com, and it's WESLOPER.com. But of course, we're also on MySpace at /Wes Loper Band Rocks. And of course, each of the band members have their own page, and that's you start at Wes Loper, and then from there we're each other's friends first and foremost. So you can find out more about the bandmates, and then CD Baby is where our album is sold online most of all. So please buy an album and check it out.
All right. Well, thank you so much again.
Thanks, Paul. All right. Hi, guys. You're listening to Time After Island Time with Wes Loper.
We thank you and appreciate you dropping in for the Paul Leslie Hour today. You can help the Paul Leslie Hour in our mission to provide independent media content like this by visiting www.thepaulleslie.com/support. We truly thank you. This is your announcer speaking. Performance of The Entertainer intro song and Corina outro song, courtesy of John Primorano. Well, that's it for today. So until next time, be safe and be good.